Hi there everybody, I am going to show you the way I do skin smoothing. Now before you do any skin smoothing, you want to go around your image and remove any hard blemishes or anything that really just stands out. I prefer to use the healing brush tool to do that. But anyway, this tutorial isn't about the healing brush tool. It is about getting super smooth skin. So the first thing I do is I duplicate my background by hitting Command J. I will then change the blend mode to vivid light and then invert that layer by hitting Command I, which gives you this gray ugly layer. My next step would be going to filter and convert for smart filters. That way when we add other filters we always have the option to go back and readjust the settings that we get. Okay, so that's applied. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to Filter, Other, and High Pass. Now High Pass will usually sharpen, but since we inverted the layer, it's going to blur. I usually use radius pixels between 25 and 26 because I'm on a higher res, higher megapixel image. I'm going to choose 25. Click OK and let that run. Okay, after that runs, we're going to go once again to Filter. This time we're going to choose Blur and Gaussian Blur. And Gaussian Blur usually destroys pixels, but in this case, since it's inverted, it will bring back a little bit of skin texture. I usually use between 1 and 3. 1.7 I find is pretty good. And we will click OK. If I zoom in here, you'll be able to see what that effect does. So here is the before and the after. Pretty smooth skin. But the whole image is looking pretty awful right now. We have to do a few more things. The next step that I do is I click over here, not on the thumbnail, over here in the layer, to open up the layer style. Then if you go to this bottom area here, hold down the Alt key and separate this triangle. You want to bring that all the way to the end, and that'll bring back the highlights a little bit, as you can see in the eyes. If you bring down over here, this is going to bring the shadows. I've got to fix the shadows up a little bit. And now because we're in a smart object, we will always be able to come back and fix it. So you just got to come that way around. I like the way that looks. I'm going to hit OK. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to paint back the effect. Holding down Alt and click on Add Layer Mask, which totally hides the full effect. I'm going to get my brush tool, paint with a white paint, soft brush. I'm only going to paint on half of the effect, just so you can see how it works, how it looks, I should say. Another really cool tip, which is something I just learned, if you hold down Shift Alt and click on the mask here, it's going to turn everything to this red overlay so you can actually see where you're painting back. Now when painting back, you want to avoid things like hair and the eyes and the lips. I'm going quick, so I may hit that, but if you do hit it, don't worry about it. You can always change your brush color to black and paint back over, and that way it's kind of non-destructive way of doing something. Okay, so let me just paint in her shoulder here. If you notice, I'm avoiding the spaghetti strap there that she has. She's looking pretty good. I'm going to zoom in. Get my brush tool and switch it to black. You see this? I'm adjusting that with the bracket keys. Left shrinks and right increases. I want to hit the nostril, get texture in the nostril, and now I want to make sure the eyes are nice and sharp. But I'll paint out of here because that can be nice and smooth. Okay, now I'll hit Shift and Alt again, and there you go. So there's a split. This side is obviously skin smooth, this isn't. Next thing I will do is lower the opacity. It's all personal preference. You can also change the blend mode to soft light to get a really subtle version. Hard light gives you obviously a little bit more, or vivid light. I prefer vivid light, and then I will just mess with the opacity there. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my my tutorial on skin smoothing.